Alright, the game I got going on here, this is a Spin Master. I believe it came out like either 91 or 92. This is a complete classic. This is released on a system called the Neo Geo. It's actually the game that I first ever played on the, like the first time I ever messed with a Neo Geo was this game. You know, way before I got to experience the awesome sauce that is Samurai Showdown and Puzzle de Pawn and King of Fighters, Fatal Fury. You know, Neo Geo was like, you know, they were, for me, they were making great games. Before I get started, I'm going to go outside and explain how this is going to work. This ain't no speed run. I ain't unlocking no secrets. The only thing I'm going to do is play this game. And since it's the game where you can put a bunch of credits on there, I'm going to keep playing until I either beat the game or I get bored with it. It's not a long game. I mean, the other games I got are Metal Gear Solid 3, which, come on, that's awesome sauce. That's, you know, right up there. That's like beauty, like Contra. And, Magician Lord, and that game honestly is so infuriating. I don't care how many times you play it. I mean, I've seen people speed run it and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to, but I want to assure dominance. Either which way, this is a very old game because a subscriber was like, hey, you do some more retro games? I'm like, yeah. I mean, I do more, but people gotta remember, man, I started out on the streets, like living on them. I ain't have no money, I ain't had no income. The fact that I got this and all, the fact that I got even this far is crazy. But I'm not gonna sit up here and like hark on all that, or harp on it, however you want to put that word. Ain't gonna be a whole lot of concentrating on this game. I'm just gonna play it. Everybody comes in to kick it, you're more than welcome. If you don't, that's cool too. But he asked me to retro game, so I'm gonna do some retro gaming. Except when I say retro game, I'm talking old. You know, like I was kind of like what was it, Little Nemo the Dream Master, A Boy and His Blob, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I just always like to be a classic 2D. Some people, when they say old, they're like, oh, play some Oddworld. That ain't old to me. I mean, it's oldish, but when I say old, I'm like... I remember when you only had one button if you was lucky. It actually didn't even have a button, you just had a knob. Which is weird because I'm not even that old. But that's one of the good things about growing up in the hood and growing up completely po. Like, you got what you could, and then you worked your way to get more. Anyways, I'm about to fire on this game. I just wanted to put that caveat out there. Oh, snap. Easy digging. Hello there. Sorry, I was outside when I did all that, so I didn't have my phone with me. Got Hunter playing in the background, because I likes me some Hunter. And I'm about to play this old game. What I also like about this game is you can just jump on their heads. Cause why not? What do you mean hurry up? I ain't exactly on no time constraint. Ah, they're not paying attention. I'm not on the time limit. Stop bothering me. Yeah. What's up? Nah, I'm glad that you did that. I'm glad that you do that. Go play moderator. Hey, Jamie C. Yep. Neo Geo was the system, though. I mean, like, the thing I loved about it that it often gets overlooked is you go to the arcade and you'd have like 4 to 6 games on there. You put your quarter in, you have to pick a game you wanted to play, and you went nuts on it. And that's how I would get exposed to a lot of classics. Well, that's how I would get exposed to a lot of games like Art of Fighting, Samurai Showdown, 1945, I think it was called. Arch Rivals, King of the Monsters. But how you been, Jamie? It's been a long time, yo. Oh, that is it. Yeah, 1942, that was it. I wasn't into the playing games very much, though. Like, you know, any of the games where I'm flying around. Like, you know, people love themselves from Galaga. Wasn't my bag. I was cool with it, but I was just like, nah. Well, you know, MF Doom and Cool Keith was an excellent question. I mean, come on, Dr. Octagon? But you're always welcome around here, Jamie. See, although even though my power keeps going out on the phone here, so I can read it. I'm not sure what the Egyptian themed fighting game or flying game was. I'd have to look that over. I hate when that happens. I wanted to play like I seriously wanted to play a Boy and His Blob and the other game I wanted to get, but they never ever seem to have anywhere is Kid Chameleon. Even though that game's dumb, I love it. Yeah, go get that mod going. You know, handle that. Always a pleasure to see you, Easy Digging. Yeah, Kid Chameleon.
You work as an engineer. Is that all part of your job?
Yes, it is.
This takes me back. Yeah, I remember this show called Nick Arcade. They had to get a certain amount of points. You have a great one. Oh, Shock Troopers? That's the game right there. That's a classic. The one thing I do like about playing it nowadays is I ain't got to worry about quarters. Neo Geo emulation. I should get an emulator, but I don't have a PC, so I need to get one just so I can do the Kabuki Clash. But there's a lot of games like that Neo Geo actually has available on the PS4. Because I was going through the list, and there was so many. Yeah, I wish I had an arcade stick. And like I said earlier, I'm just playing and talking nonsense. Cause there ain't no quarters being pumped in, so I ain't got nothing to worry about losing. Yeah, there's a ton of them. And I liked all the Neo Geo games. I mean, for me, I just played them so much. I mean, while everybody was messing around with Street Fighter, I was playing Fatal Fury. Which is why a lot of my questions back then were like Neo Geo related questions. Or a lot of stuff I talk about, like, you know, Double Dragon being a fighting game on the Neo Geo system. That's why people tell me I'm not much of a gamer. I'm like, psh. I played the Panasonic Real 3DO. I played Kasumi Ninja. I played the crappy Zelda on CDI. I had a Sega channel. I had to blow in the cartridges to get them work. And there wasn't no cheat codes. There was passwords. And I still don't know how the ending of Karateka goes. I need to go on ahead and step up and play that game one day. Alright. Granted, I used to game a lot more. It's harder to do when you're on the streets. I remember reading Game Pro, EGM, Nintendo Power. Oh yeah, no, that's awesome. See, I do got that time. Like, plus there's no pressure. Like I said before, I play these games as a backdrop. This is just me talking and chilling, hanging out, you know, engaging in palaver with everybody. But also, even if there's pressure on there, what do I really win? What? Nothing. Unless it's like cash on the line or something, in which case I wouldn't enter no tournaments. But I just don't see the point. But at the same time, I don't knock anybody that does. I play to chill out, hang out, vibe, and grind, and also get crazy stuff off my mind. That way I don't do nothing excessive and crazy to make me look obsessive like I'm gonna do something mean. Yep. Man, sometimes though I just want to get to the ending. I'm like, alright, I've seen everything. Let me see how this ends. Besides, no glory. Not for me anyway. To me it's just, you know, there. But somebody asked me to play a retro, so I decided to. I miss Data East games too, which were also Neo Geo. But you remember that game, Outrun? And I think there was another one. I think it was called Joy Max. I don't remember. But you know, you're driving and you gotta shoot. You got one guy that controls the gun and one guy that controls the car, and you have to shoot at the cops and all that. Oh yeah, putting in them initials are like, magnifique. And putting in those initials means so much. But that like goes back to that cabinet arcade, you know? But like I was talking about earlier with somebody, putting your quarter on the machine and you knew it was your quarter, you knew when your place was, you knew when it was time to get down. And like, you know, on your one quarter, how far can you get? So I get it on that sense, but I'm at home. I'm not in the arcade, there ain't a bunch of people around me. This ain't like that movie, The Last Starfighter, or what was that other one? The Wizard? Love that movie. But like when it's time for me to get serious, I do. But oh lordy, are there so many games that I didn't finish back in the day, and I would just go nuts about. Like even when I had the infinite coin option, I'd just be like, I can't beat this part, and get all frustrated. You know what I mean? Happy and Lucky, yeah, that was the name of it. You were driving a car and you had like, you could have your one hand on steering, one hand on pistol, or you had your homie sitting right beside you and he was holding the pistol. You know, like when they would have like games like Jurassic Park where you play it like that, or like, you know, the mech games and Cyber Troopers where you had to sit inside of a mech to control it. Yeah, good classic co-ops. And I remember the games where you had the gun on the cabinet, like, you know, like Revolution X and like House of the Dead and Carnival to a certain extent. A lot of that stuff. Oh yeah, of course they do. Because half the time you couldn't find a homie that would sit his butt down long enough to play it with you and want to achieve, you know, total victory as a crew. Yeah. Yes, it was. You know, one of the other arcade game I thought was dope was the Aliens versus Predator, where you had like you could choose between two humans and two different predators. They don't give that game enough props. I spent a lot of time in arcades. Had more quarters than I had money to buy consoles back then. Alright, got my water. But yeah, that's the whole reason I fired up this game. I wasn't really trying to achieve anything. It's just chilling like a villain. Plus, like, me and one other person are the only people like posting videos on this game. Yeah. Just like Muppet Babies, the original. And it's a licensing nightmare. That's why they haven't come out on DVD. Yeah. I was looking over reading what you were saying. So many games they made were classics. But somebody asked me to do some retro gaming, so I thought I'd do some retro gaming for them. Now the one with infinite coin that still completely frustrates the absolute crap out of me is Magician Lord. That's amazing. Yeah, that's completely amazing. I watched somebody do a speed run of it, and they're incredible at it, but, you know, it was mostly just avoiding the fights. Because, you know, speed runs just completing the level and with the least amount of problems. So that was cool, I guess. But me, that's my only problem is I'm going to try to fight as much as possible. But also, I don't play a game hundreds of times over because I usually, I ain't have a chance to. So most of the time, I had to either be good at it, learn it, or have a lot of quarters. Unless I owned it, there are certain games I used to own and I would just play the crap out of them. But I never owned a Neo Geo, but the homeboy did. Yeah, you were telling me about that. I remember that. Yeah, I totally remember that. Yeah, you, me, and Charlie Cat were discussing Magician Lord and Altered Beast. How are things lately with you? Everything been gravy? Yeah, no, Shock Troopers is great stuff. Everything been good where you been at? It's been a while since I spoke to you, I know. Been a while since we got to speak, except for when you know, answered me on the Cool Keats MF Doom question, like you said. Yeah, that W word. I still hate mentioning it. The other retro game I was thinking about playing is Ikari Warriors, but like I said, there's actually a lot of Neo Geo games on PS4. Like, I don't have an emulator, but there's a lot of games on here that I can sink my teeth into, like classics. My only beef with it is that they don't have Kabuki Clash, or I guess they call it Far East of Eden and other places. But like, you know, in the Western world, we call it Kabuki Clash. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I really get mad when they change titles. It's like when you play Street Fighter 2. Blanca is not Blanca. Blanca is Balrog. Balrog's supposed to be M. Bison. M. Bison's supposed to be Vega. Vega's supposed to be Blanca. But they changed it up because of the legal matter with the M. Bison Mike Tyson deal. Just like, you know, it's not the Super Nintendo, it's the Super Famicom. That's probably why I like Neo Geo, because Neo Geo stayed Neo Geo no matter what. It Neo'd its Geo. 4 buttons of fun. But they still update. I mean, like, not as much, but, you know, like Samurai Showdown, the newer one of that looks beautiful. But it's funny though, like I was saying in one video I made, Samurai Showdown is one of the few soundtracks I've heard that hasn't changed the music whatsoever, because they knew what worked from the first game and kept it that way. And the only reason I haven't turned off this broadcast is because I rarely get to actually talk to you. I always catch your replies and your comments, so this is a treat for me. Now if I could catch Charlie Cat, I'd be golden. But I don't want to sit up here and look like I'm just milking for time. I really just don't get to see you often. I don't get to see a lot of the people that I like talking to often. Yeah. Yeah, my homeboy, he collected almost every system there was to man, and he had a Neo Geo cabinet. You know, so I played many obscure games that you wouldn't expect. Like, I remember playing the Sailor Moon game on the TurboGrafx. It wasn't good. The game, not the TurboGrafx. TurboGrafx have plenty of cool games. Playing on the Atari Lynx and all that stuff. Yeah, had a cabinet. But, you know, I've forgotten more games than I remember. That's crazy. Just like I used to have this problem on fighting games. I still do have that problem where I'll get dusted if I'm playing at home on, like, you know, like in the console. But put me on a cab and I'll rock. You can give me the arcade pad all you want, but give me the cabinet. I don't know, just something about the feeling. Yeah, superstition, I guess. But either which way, a lot of people are tuning in and looking at me just staring at a screen and talking about absolute nonsense, which is what I do anyhow. That's probably the way I prefer to broadcast. Oh, hey, Cat Eyes, how you doing? It's a shame you caught me after I'd already beaten the game. I'm just chopping it up here with some of the people. And I can't switch games because this ain't a PC. If I could switch games on here, fine. If I had a PC, I'd be able to stream all the good stuff. They got Dragon's Lair on here and Space Ace. I can't even rock those. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I was just chopping it up with Jamie before I took off because this game here, it's over. I already beat it. Not like I tried hard and it wasn't very strenuous. It wasn't anything. I just ran it. Like I said, infinite coin, call it a day. Ain't no tips and tricks over here. I'll probably play something else a little bit later, something more contemporary. Or I'll stick to my usual Final Fantasy VII Remake and Horizon because I'm almost done with the Frozen Wilds on that. I don't really know. But thank you for popping through. Same as you, Jamie. It's always a pleasure to see you. And don't worry, I'll have many stupid questions and thoughts coming up because I'm going to get back to my shorts. Nah. Well, Final Fantasy, you know, you got to be into turn-based RPGs. You really do. You too, Cat Eyes. You too. Oh, no, you're not keeping me. I don't want to be rude. People come in and they speak. I have to answer. I don't like anybody to feel like they're less than. And nobody's a view to me. Like I said, I come here to chop it up and have good times. Either which way, y'all keep having a great evening or daytime, whatever the hours are, wherever you're at. And I'll be streaming again. The funny thing is, I'm not a game streamer. It's easier for me to talk when I'm like this. Anyways, much love, alright? Have a good one.